All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Oversell podcast, the greatest podcast in the world. I'm here with the captain and my man Scythex, and we are talking all things Elimination Chamber tonight. We're doing a full recap of the event, and we are going deep on this one, baby. We are starting our road to WrestleMania.
Zoop.
Yeah.
Give me one.
Oh, too sweet.
No.
You got to connect that. You got to connect.
Connect it, bro.
Me in the middle. Me in the middle. Me in the middle. Me in the middle. Me in the
There we
middle.
go.
The whole segment could be this.
Yeah.
Me in the middle. What's up, boys?
What's going on, fellas?
What up?
How's everybody doing?
Good.
You know, other than being a Marvel fanboy, I'm just here enjoying life, baby. You know what's going on.
Yeah.
So here we are. This weekend was the Elimination Chamber. We did a watch party for it. Go back and check that out if you guys want to see our reactions live in person as we were watching it. You can watch along with us if you haven't watched the event yet. But we're gonna go deep dive, kind of like our thoughts on everything, grade it, see what the matches were, and all that stuff. So we're gonna start with the first match on the card, which was the women's Elimination Chamber, which decided the contender for Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. So in this match, we had Asuka, Nikki Cross, Natalya, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez. Am I missing
That's
anybody?
my girl right there.
That's everybody, right?
There's 6 total. Did you mention
Asuka,
that? Yep.
Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Natalya, Nikki Cross, and Carmella.
Carmella.
That's what I was missing. Carmella's really returned. What'd you guys think of the match?
I give it overall a C. I thought that, like in any Elimination Chamber match, you have highlights, right? So I thought that Carmella played it up pretty well, like trying to run into a couple different Elimination Chambers to lock herself in. I thought, whoever, I forgot who it was that got thrown through one of the Elimination Chambers was pretty cool. I thought Raquel Rodriguez did great. I thought that the lack of star power inside of it made it too predictable that Asuka's new character was going to be who was coming out of it. Asuka's great, right? We've known that for a long time. Carmella is a great actress. I think we've known that for a long time. Other than that, I could care less to see Natalya. I could care less to see Nikki Cross at all.
Yeah.
And I didn't think Liv Morgan had a couple of nice moments where she did that like flip.
The crowd was
powerbomb
going
off the
nuts for
top.
her.
Yeah, like that's my biggest issue. I think we all discussed how like over Liv Morgan is right now and how impressed we are, right? And I think as we were watching the Royal Rumble, Fred really was like, dude, Liv's putting some really good work in lately, So so it's definitely one of those things, but it underwhelmed me overall because of the lack of star power. I don't know how you guys felt.
I kind of agree with you on that. I would probably give it a C+ because despite it lacking the star power, we had some really great moments in there. And like you said about Liv, I think she was almost a standout in the whole thing because she was really doing moves
I'd agree with that.
You normally don't see from her, and she was giving it her all. And I was really rooting for her, not only because I like her, but also because I felt like she deserved it after the effort that she put into that match. And I know that they're pushing Asuka's new character, but I just don't feel like she deserved the win, if that makes sense. So overall, I thought it was pretty good. Like I said, I'll give it a C+. Raquel did her thing. She really showed herself being like the powerhouse that she is.
And they protected Raquel's character by making a 2-on-1 pin,
Yeah,
they were able to protect her character that way. So this way she doesn't come off as weak or anything like that. She still came off as the powerhouse and everything.
Yeah.
So,
and listen, a little bit of foreshadowing with that. We saw that later on, protecting somebody else's character.
Yeah.
So
we'll get into that when we get into the
no, I'm
men's.
saying
Yeah.
a little foreshadowing. It was pretty cool consistency with that. It was a cool team. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just to wrap up my thoughts, Nikki Cross was a psychopath, and if that's that's obviously what she's going for. So I would say she's succeeded, but like you said, John, like I just don't want to see her in the match to begin with.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I think Bianca and Asuka is going to be a hell of a match, but it's not the match that I wanted after watching that Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. So for me, I agree with you guys on like the lack of star power, although I do think Liv and Asuka are big stars in the women's division, especially at this moment. But they're the only big stars you had there, right? So the idea that Nikki Cross and Natalya were even in this thing, we talked about it before, we talked about it the night of, is an absolute joke in my eyes. Because you should have given, if you're gonna do this lack of star power elimination chamber and really trying to highlight the up and coming girls, right? Like your Raquel Rodriguez, your Carmella. I mean, Carmella's a big name, but she's not really like, but she's good for like the scumbaggery. You know what I'm saying? Like you need a guy like you need a chick like that in one of these big matches, like a Money in the Bank, an Elimination Chamber. You need somebody who's gonna hide it under the ring and then be the opportunist.
The Miz.
Yeah, you need the Miz. She is the female Miz, and it's 100%. A good character for her to be, and it's a good addition to the chamber match, I think.
Yeah.
But I would have rather seen those other two spots go to like Candice LeRae and like Tegan Knox or something along those lines, and get some, or even bring up who's the chick, Zoe Stark. She had a great showing at Rumble.
Who's Lacey? What about Lacey? She could have been.
Yeah, Lacey could have been in there also.
I feel, Zoop. I think we talked about this a couple times. Also, everyone forgive me. I'm like I have laryngitis, so I kind of lost my voice. So I'm doing what I can to power through it. So just forgive me if I like clear my voice a lot.
Yeah, don't strain yourself too much here, pal.
No, I apologize to anyone listening. Like thinking about what's this guy doing.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the lack of star power in the women's division, right? And we talked about the women's revolution and what we saw and how it sort of captivated us, right? We were like, dude, we're buying into women's wrestling right now. Like we're in on this. Sasha Banks,
they weren't just
Bayley,
there for the puppies
Charlotte,
anymore.
Becky, like we're in on this. And then they added an Asuka. They started to add a couple other elements that also increased people's game. And you saw others, and like you're starting to feel the loss of Sasha Banks and Naomi. You're starting to feel Charlotte not be there. You're starting to feel Becky Lynch not be there. You're feeling these losses. And, and it's when you have a women's match and a women's pay-per-view and a women's main event, and you have to you can't just throw people out there and expect everyone to be entertained. You have to put elements in there. So for me, I would have rather them start to really put some star power in this, right? And put a Raquel Rodriguez, maybe put a Becky Lynch in this.
Yeah.
Put, some other big name instead of Natalya, who's awful.
Only there because they were in Montreal.
Yeah, it's the only reason she was there because they were in Montreal.
And listen, Nikki Cross, you want to play the crazy card, whatever. You can't have the same wrestlers, but I just rather see something else, something big that I could be like, wow.
Yeah.
And if you're going to have Asuka win, Asuka's going through the man. She's going through Liv Morgan. She's going through Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Then you're, but is she going through Nikki Cross? Okay. Is she going through Carmella? Okay. Like we're not born on these people. So we're watching the match and we're like, if it's not Liv Morgan and Asuka and Raquel, we're completely out. We're out.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that defeated it for me. Yeah, that's all, but women's wrestling in general, listen, I'm very, very comfortable saying it used to be hot dog shit. I don't care what anybody tells me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm definitely much more invested than I ever was. I like seeing them in the ring. I like seeing them progress and the things that they do. I think they're much more daring. They're more likely to throw each other off a cage or through a table, do a hurricane round off the top.
They drop some great promos too.
They drop some great, some of them drop some great promos as long as they don't have accents. We're like, there's a lot going on, and I feel good about it, but like this match overall underwhelmed me, and I was very excited to watch it. But once you saw like those people, kind of like, so that was
that was my thing is once Natalya entered the ring, it was like a snooze fest. It was like the same. We knew exactly what she was going to do. Let's do some catch can. We're going to run. We're going to leapfrog. We're going to dive roll. We're going to arm drag. She's more like her Uncle Brett than anybody ever has been. The most predictable matches of all time.
Okay, but we enjoyed watching Bret Hart. Everything about Natalya is awful. I love watching Bret the Hitman Hart.
I think he's the most overrated wrestler of all time, personally. But terrible on the mic and the same match over and over and over again.
Well, first of all,
disagree, but I still enjoyed him.
His persona coming out, the glasses, giving a kid his glasses. He had that, bro. He maybe because of the fact that his persona was like the greatest technical wrestler in WWF right at the time. He just had that moxie about him, and the sharpshooter. You knew once he locked it in, he had that Iron Man match against Shawn Michaels was one of the greatest matches of all time, and you can't tell me it's because it was one good guy in the ring. Like
no. Like he's technically proficient. Don't get me wrong, but
he's got to have the right partner in the ring.
Yeah, he's got to have the right partner in the ring, and also anytime he wrestles anybody but Shawn. It's arm drag, Japanese arm drag, forward roll, sunset flip, kick out, sharpshooter. Like it's the same match every single time. Anybody other than Shawn, right?
I think we see that a lot, dude. I mean, listen,
we
saw it
from Cena for years.
You and I, we were kind of touching on a little bit messaging earlier. Like, listen, from WrestleMania 1 through WrestleMania 10. We only saw guys punching each other and doing leg drops.
Exactly.
The fact that we grew up on it, and I think that's what gets a lot of these guys that aren't so great all the time. What gets them in trouble because that these little indie fanboys will be like, oh well, they don't do all of this, they don't do that, they're not pure like, bro. Listen, Hogan sold us. We fell in love. He captivated the world with a punch, a leg drop, a head shake with a nod, and a pin, and one body slam. The fact is like if the guy sells something, it doesn't matter the five moves of doom, right? Like if they do and they captivate us, we're good with it, and that's how.
If they captivate us,
if they
is the point,
and I think that's what was underwhelming about the girls elimination chambers, that the women that they had in there are so underwhelming with what they do, and they could have put others in there that could have made the match so dope.
That's my point to it, is like you can bring in some of these newer girls that are doing really dynamic stuff in the ring, right? And give them a shot to really showcase at a chamber match. If you do half star power, half up and comers who are really going to deliver the match, I think it's a bomb ass match that you end up going through. Look what we got in the men's, and we'll touch on the men's later on, but that's what we got in the men's. And it was an amazing match.
You had a little bit of everything in the men's.
The next matchup, was Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar for the 9 billionth time.
Go ahead.
Lesnar wins by DQ because he low blows Lashley out of the Hurt Lock for no reason whatsoever, because he was right by the ropes and he could have grabbed them.
Okay. I'm going to be honest with you. I actually have a great take on this, and I think you're going to appreciate it. Go ahead.
Now the question that we have right now, I guess we'll find out maybe on Friday, is recently Bray said whoever won this match was going to be his next opponent. And is the Lesnar DQ going to stand, or is he going to go after Lesnar? You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of up in the air for that. But other than that angle of this match, I didn't care about this match. It was spear, Germans. We talked about it while we were watching it.
Yeah,
3 spears, three suplexes, 3 F5s, hurt lock, call it a day.
So I thought about this for a while, dude, and I kind of went back through the matches. And once again, I'll say, like, Scythe, something that Zoop and I have been kind of doing is like bouncing ideas of like previous stuff and what we enjoyed about things and, you know, what we'd like to see. And I kind of pick his brain about some ideas he has for Oversell and stuff like that. Right. And I sort of went back and I thought about matches. First of all, this was the only possible outcome for this match. The only. Brock Lesnar has 0 storylines. Bobby Lashley has 0 storylines.
Yeah.
And the fact is that if either of these guys are not facing each other in WrestleMania, there is 0 reason for either to be there. The fact is you have to have Lesnar in WrestleMania because Lesnar's got to be there, right? It's the biggest event and Lesnar's the biggest superstar, whatever.
Love him or hate him, he's a big draw.
Big draw.
Yeah.
Okay. And Bobby Lashley, if he doesn't, with all the matches against Lesnar, get a push for WrestleMania, it's the worst booking in the history of WWE. And by the way, it's already the worst booking. So there has to be an end game here. So for me, a DQ is the only outcome because now they face off at WrestleMania in probably a last man standing, a no holds bar, you know, something. They're both going to fight each other in a fight, whatever it is, you know, a street fight, and it'll end it once and for all. And it actually showed, it's an odd thing, but the recent opponents Lesnar's been fighting, they've actually somehow dominated him at the end. It's an odd thing to see, and maybe
he's been trying to. He's publicly said he's been trying to get more guys over.
Yeah,
and he understands that that's his role now in his career is to get guys over. That's what he did for Drew, like at Royal Rumble. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
no doubt, he's doing a great job.
And he's done a great job doing it. Like Lesnar really, like, love him or hate him, the guy knows the business. And he knows how to be that like dynamic, wild card, right?
Yep. I'm going to give this match a B+.
Okay. I mean, I thought it was a solid B.
I thought, listen, for what we thought we got, we predicted it every move, literally, and I just thought like it made sense. Like, you know, and because of the storyline, because of how the match makes up and what you're going to get from the two of these, we're not getting, you know, Daniel Bryan against CM Punk or something.
No,
we're getting 2 fucking guys who are just going to pick each other up and slam each other.
Like exactly how you called it before the match, we got exactly what we knew we were going to get.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
what'd you think, Fred?
You guys scored it way higher than I thought you would.
Okay.
I would say this one was a D for me because this was the one match out of all of them that I was actually legitimately bored watching it.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I don't even blame you.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, like I understand what you're saying. Like that's the crazy part.
Like you guys were saying, like there doesn't seem to be an end game between these two, and their promos have been very lackluster, and it's just the buildup was pretty bad. It was pretty bad leading up to this match, and for it to end in a DQ, just knowing that it can possibly extend even further from this now and we didn't get a closure to it, is more irritating than anything to me. They're off topic, kind of on topic. Almost is trying to challenge Lesnar for WrestleMania. So just throwing that out there.
God.
talk about boring matches.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's
we honestly hope Bray goes after Brock because that would at least make the match interesting.
I'd almost rather see Omos versus Bobby Lashley anyway, because the MVP angle kind of makes it a more kind of gives it a storyline for some reason.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't.
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, it's overall, a vague storyline, but it's still a storyline.
Yeah.
All that bores me to the point where I just yawned.
Lesnar is such a hard person to write a story behind because I just feel like he's so part-time that he really doesn't have much history with the cast.
But that's exactly why he's the easiest guy to write a storyline behind. Yeah, right? Because
I guess
no matter who you are, Lesnar could just show up one night and be like,
and just pick a fight.
I'm picking a fight with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he's the ultimate wild card, and that's what they use him as. Like at any point, Lesnar could just be the guy that shows up on Monday Night Raw. His music hits, he comes out, F5s you, and like now you're in Brock Lesnar country. You know, and he's gonna look at you every week with that stupid cowboy hat and be like, "Listen, Bobby, you're coming with me, Bobby."
So I think from a standpoint of organic, it obviously never makes sense. Like Scythe is saying, right? Where he attacked him coming out to the ring. He interrupted one of his promos. He, screwed him in a match. And now they have a storyline building. Yes, I totally get you. And that's stereotypical for what we know. For Brock Lesnar, he definitely is the easiest guy to interject because, first of all, whoever has a championship belt, it just makes sense that Brock can come out and challenge him at any time. If a guy is the size of Bobby Lashley and is talking about how tough he is, Brock's going to come out and challenge him. If John Cena and somebody who has been in the company for a long time and Brock Lesnar comes out and challenges him, it's Brock Lesnar just saying like, "Hey, I'm the main guy in the company." Brock Lesnar can have any angle whatsoever as long as the guy's not a luchador. Like it really is
not Rey Mysterio. He's got an angle.
Yeah, I mean he's got it, but it sucks that he's got an angle as a part-timer, and I agree with you, bro. And I think the match, when I first thought about it, I was like, this is not only this is an F, it's a fucking failure. And then I thought about it a lot, and I was like, you know what? Dude, actually, for what the match was supposed to be, I gotta give this a B+, dude, because it just makes sense for both guys. If you're trying to build back the Hurt Business, you can't have Bobby Lashley look bad with Brock Lesnar and look weak after what he did to him at the Rumble, right? Tossed him out, beat up on him, left him in shambles after the last pay-per-view. You have to make him look tough. But how many times can you have Brock Lesnar lose before he loses the beast lore? So you can't let him lose. And this is it. So I was like, I guess if we're going to watch this fucking shit show, this is the only outcome. So I think they hit a home run with what it was supposed to be. Honestly, that's it for that.
That's how basically,
well said.
Well said. Next up, we had the Judgment Day versus Edge and Beth. I'm gonna go to Fred on this one. What'd you think of this match?
Condom was in. He was actually wrestling in this one, or no?
No, he was on the outside being Condom.
And in Rhea.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, right. It was mixed tag. Yeah, I mean, it was okay. I didn't hate the match. It was just how do I say it? Every time Edge is in the ring, I'm happy. So I was okay with what we got, but I don't know, man. I just feel like Rhea is so dominant for the women's division, and Beth has been away for so long that I don't know. It's not a match that I would want to see. It just seemed it was too like they were trying to get this nostalgic feels going, and I don't know if Beth really has that. Was she always? I don't remember her being that likable of a character back in the day.
She was huge. She was huge in her era, but her era was like the time when
being that likable though. She was always the problem. She was the Brock Lesnar of the women. Like she would just come in and try to mess people up.
No, she was around for a while, dude. Like she wasn't
I'm
like
not saying
part-time at all.
part-time. I'm just saying like in general, her character.
But I mean, for her time, it was like Beth Phoenix, Michelle McCool, like that whole era of women's wrestling. Like she was a big name. The Glamazon was a big name for her time. I just think, like I compared to what we have now, it's not even comparable. But
yeah, I don't know. If I was gonna grade it, I'd probably give it a C.
Zoop.
Me personally, I love this match. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was really well done. I thought the ending was the right ending to have because I thought now here's the thing, because I thought this would finally close the chapter on the Edge versus Judgment Day,
but it didn't.
And that's where I'm just like, fuck. Like I don't want to see Edge versus Judgment Day anymore. Like I thought it was great. Like going into Monday night, he challenged Austin Theory for the U.S. title. Knew he was going to lose it, right? But at least you're starting maybe a rivalry with him in Theory going into Mania. You know,
can I butt in for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just have to say, like, Judgment Day has their whole group, like the majority of their group are fantastic wrestlers. Finn Balor, Priest, Rhea Ripley, like they're so
Excuse
good.
you.
Oh, here he goes. Here he goes. He's going to start defending Condom again.
Relax.
There's a fourth member of the Judgment Day. You better say his name.
I'm going to say his name. Don't worry.
All right. Say it with your chest.
They're so good in the ring, and I feel like Judgment Day should be a more popular faction, whether they're a heel or a face. It doesn't matter. They should be more popular. And now I just feel like they're just forced. They're not there. They're not wanted. They're not a wanted heel. They're not a wanted face to me. They're just there being forced down our throats. And this condom act is like, I feel like weighing the whole team down, which is a great team.
The captain's many facial expressions during your explanation right there,
I know,
leads me to believe he disagrees with you. So I'd love to hear from him at this point.
I'm sure
so let me tell you.
Before we get to him, can Zoop, do you agree or do you have any comment to what I said?
I think personally that they're exactly the faction they're supposed to be right now. Like they're a heel faction, right? Like I think they're pretty popular. I think people like them, and love it or hate it, Condom is over as a heel, as like a piece of shit. Like everybody knows he's full of shit, kind of like Chavo Guerrero-esque heel, right? Like that's what he is. He's following in like Chavo's footsteps of like not being Eddie, but still pretending to be the greatest luchador of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I mean, that's what his character is, and I think he's doing a good job at it. I still want to put the kid's face into a blender, but like, you know, you got to give credit where credit's due, because he's currently giving us this whole like I was in the joint. Everybody knows it's bullshit.
I mean, you know he succeeded of me hating him. So
yeah, he's doing his job.
He succeeded there, but it's just.
What do you got there, Captain?
I don't know. Go ahead, Cap.
Scythe, awful take. First of all, you almost lost full credibility without knowing Beth Phoenix was who she was. That's number one. Number two, the fact that you don't hear the crowd react when a guy like Condom, a superstar like Condom, is out by the ring, lets me know that you're so out of touch. It's like Vince McMahon thinking he can molest women and still run a company. You're so out of touch. It's a gross negligence. And furthermore, the match was a gem. Both women went toe to toe. I don't know what you were watching, but both of them went toe to toe. You saw two titans. And that one clothesline where they both closed on each other. They were
that opening barrage where they just closed on each other was amazing.
That was a great scene.
It was also a botch fest on her part.
Okay, a couple times, but it's fine.
She hasn't been in the ring in like fucking 10 years. So like, give her a break.
And you're never
rather somebody else.
you're never going to go wrong when you see Edge and Finn. They're both phenomenal at their craft. I love watching them both. I'm going to give it a B+. The only reason, was the outcome of the match. I loved the matchup. I thought that you needed Judgment Day to win that match. You thought
Judgment Day should have won.
You needed Judgment Day to win that match. That's how I felt. I felt like your Edge has said many times he's almost done. He's almost going to retire. They're giving a push to Judgment Day. They're a very big heel faction. A lot of heat on Condom, one of the big superstars in WWE. You have Finn Balor, who obviously is a superstar. Rhea Ripley's about to main event WrestleMania. Damian Priest just had a great outing, or was about to have a great outing in the Elimination Chamber. Dude, you got to have them win, bro. You have to push.
So I disagree with you. I disagree with you on the sole fact of the whole reason this match was happening was because of what happened in the Extreme Rules and then putting Beth out. And you need the redemption story because it's going to be a one-off match for Beth. You need her to win to solidify that redemption story.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the only thing for me is that, and I understand what you're saying, and I don't disagree with it. But for this match and this storyline specifically, which is why I think it's a miss for them to go back to Edge, right? With the Austin Theory match, like Finn interrupting the Austin Theory match. Now it's like if they just ended that storyline there, because Judgment Day was protected by the fact that, you know, it was a mixed tag, right? And you get Edge over. Judgment Day doesn't really take a hit because Damian's about to deliver an amazing performance anyway, right? Rhea's got WrestleMania coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Finn's Finn. So you're really not giving Judgment Day a hit.
So, but let me ask you a question. I'm Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley, who's about to fight Charlotte for the championship, are not good enough to beat someone who hasn't wrestled in 20 years and a guy who came out of retirement last year. I'm just not understanding the dynamic of it. We know Edge, but Beth and Edge.
I actually agree with John on this point.
It doesn't make any. Bro, you're supposed to say, of course, Rhea and Finn can't lose this match. Now, if it was Seth and Becky, different dynamic, right? Becky's the man. Seth is whatever they call him, if not the man. It's so
calling the Joker after that promo.
To me, and of course Becky's now Batman, but
she's just the man.
Yes. By the way, it just
I know she has an accent. Let's move on.
I can't. What's the bet? What the bet? Like Becky. By the way, she could just talk regular. She sounds like Batman. But it doesn't make any sense to me. That's all. I look at it from a holistic picture, and I'm thinking to myself.
I think so. Did you see Extreme Rules?
I didn't watch Extreme Rules.
No.
I think maybe that's where the disconnect's happening then.
Maybe.
No, but it doesn't.
Because
no, but it doesn't. But the future coming up and where Judgment Day is now, it doesn't matter where the match is predicated from.
But that's where this storyline comes from.
No, I understand the storyline.
You know what I'm saying?
I totally understand the storyline.
Yeah.
I get what happened and the revenge, and they hurt him, they injured him, and they blah blah blah. Like I totally get all of the back, but I feel like sometimes you have to deviate from where you may think a storyline went from. And listen, this is exactly what happened with the Bloodline, bro. And we're not going to get into the Bloodline, but I'm just saying this is what it was. The Bloodline was a complete deviation. Triple H said it himself. Sami Zayn was supposed to be a 1 or 2 show gimmick. So the fact is that sometimes you have to see it and you're like, you know what? This faction's a heel faction. It's picking up a lot of heat. Rhea got her thing. And I just feel like you got to let them win this match.
And remember, Finn's the one that got pinned, not Rhea.
Yeah.
So it protects Rhea.
Listen, I understand what you're saying. Tomato. To me, it just I thought the match was phenomenal. I love the spot
I like the match.
where Beth Phoenix like threw Condom like 30 feet in the air and he hit the ropes and Finn Balor fell and hit his junk and you saw his body just fly in the sky out of nowhere. You know,
oh yeah, you just saw his body.
Yeah, his body
just came in the screen. Boom.
I thought there was so much, you know, whatever. And then you get to Monday night. And by the way, can I tell you, these Saturdays fuck me up.
Yeah, me too.
Every
Me too.
Sunday, I'm scrambling to find Raw on TV.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
like a crack fiend. I'm literally, I'm like, oh my god, I'll see what's going on. What do I do? And I'm like, oh my god, it's fucking Sunday, dude. But it's bad. But it is what it is. Listen, the match.
I agree, Brad. That's what I was saying.
B plus. Talk to me. Talk to me about what I want to fucking talk about.
All right. Chamber match, men's chamber match.
Let's go.
Highlight of the night, in my opinion. Best match of the night, in my opinion. Gave it an A plus. One of the best chamber matches I've seen in a very, very long time. We had Seth freaking Rollins. You had Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano. You had the newcomer Bronson Reed. You had Damian Priest, the Archer of Infamy. You had
Theory.
Austin Theory, the U.S. champ, and the singles debuted of Montez freaking Ford,
man,
who delivered in the biggest way.
They all did.
In this, I mean, everybody did. But
Montez did one of the most spectacular things I've seen.
He had one of the best spots I've ever seen in a chamber match.
First of all, he had 4 of the greatest spots I've ever seen.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
From the
you
moment,
know which one I'm talking about.
From the moment they opened the door and he fucking did that backhand slap that looked like he literally was going to beat somebody up, came in, jumped in, gets in a ring, over the top. I'm like, oh my God. He climbs up the spot where he drops on everybody like he's falling from the sky. Dude, the guy was so unreal, bro.
Unreal. Absolutely unreal. You know who I thought had a really good standout performance in this also was Johnny Gargano.
Yep.
He opened with Seth. Gargano, him and Seth have never faced each other in singles competition. Open with Seth. They're both from the same area. They were having a lot of fun in there, man. They were talking shit. Like when
that chemistry was off the hook.
Yeah, off the hook. When Theory came in as the third guy and they did that little spot, they were having a lot of fun in this ring, man. Because when they did that little spot where Theory's like, me and you versus him, me and you, they both just started beating the crap out of Theory. Yep. Like, it was just so good, man. The storytelling in this match alone was so fantastic. Bronson Reed came in and looked like an absolute nightmare to deal with. They protected Bronson Reed the whole match. The guy looked absolutely phenomenal. You know, there was just so much. There was so much to unpack from this match. I love the spot with Gargano and Rollins sitting up on the cage on top of the pod.
I was going to bring
that up. They're just sitting next to each other and they just start breathing real heavy and they look over at each other. They're just like, this is fucking wild, man. Like, you believe what we're doing in here? Like, it's absolutely crazy. And then they start beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I can tell you that I am invested now in every single person in that match.
Yeah.
I said it in the last Oversell, and I want to get a couple clips of what I said. And I was trying like think about if I'm sort of creative, why the hell I would do something, right? So I said, they're going to put guys like Bronson Reed and Damian Priest to split up the high flyers.
Yeah.
You need bruisers to sort of create that wow factor. And they did. And it was next level. That was Bronson Reed at the end. I'm going to go back to the foreshadowing from the women's. Took 3 guys to pin him. 4. And that was
4 finishers.
That was amazing to me. I was like, dude, it showed how dominant this dude was, and he could be a force. And I said, if I get Bronson Reed against Bray Wyatt, I'm fucking in. I'm in. That would be you would see the Bronson Reed like the immovable object, and then see Bray Wyatt, who just is used to just scaring people.
Yeah.
It would be phenomenal.
I could see that work.
I agree with that. Apparently, first Bronson Reed's going to go up against Otis.
I mean, listen, by the way, I'm okay with it.
What about Dewdrop?
I thought Gargano, who I was never sold on, sold me. I thought that Austin Theory played the Miz card amazing. I thought that Seth Rollins did exactly what the greatest wrestler in the business right now does and fucking outperformed what I even thought. And my pick for it, I'm Damian Priest did great, outperformed. But by the way, we shouldn't be surprised because when Damian Priest first came up, when he was in NXT and came up, he was great.
He was amazing.
Dude. Yeah, it was great. It was amazing.
So, the fact is Montez Ford, as I
stole
said,
the show.
I said it before, and I said this dude is built for the limelight. This guy, if you put him in a match, I could have only imagined what the match would have looked like with Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, and Montez Ford and Finn Balor in a fatal four-way.
Yeah, it would have been nuts.
Belt. I think about what these guys could have done and how they could have done it. And Montez Ford last night was just 2 nights ago was so. What today is Wednesday? 5 nights ago was so electric, dude. When you have kids and work, bro, they all blend in. Was so electric, man, and it was.
He shined.
It was really, by the way, it's tough for me. First of all, it's match A plus. And
facts, 100%.
It was impossible when I walked away. I was like, man, who was my favorite? And I just kept thinking about how Seth Rollins and the crowd and commanded the crowd and worked so well with Gargano. And Gargano was doing all this extra stuff that I didn't expect Gargano and how much of a beast.
Poison Rana on Bronson Reed. From the like from out of the Doomsday Device, was pure insanity that a guy that big took that spot. You know what I mean? Like there were so many spots in this match that was just crazy. If you're not a fan of every single one of these guys after this match, I don't know what you were watching.
For me, I've slowly come to appreciate Austin Theory's character. I like what he does. He's very much like the Miz, where he's just going to talk shit and weasel his way to a win, which I appreciate. I actually like that. Like when Orton had the run, I mean, I know Orton's a powerhouse dude, but when he was with Legacy, he weaseled his way to every win using, DiBiase and Cody. So it was just like I appreciate having that type of champion sometimes. And I've said it before, I'd like the Miz to kind of recapture that moment as well. But I really appreciate Austin Theory, and he did a great job. One of my favorite spots in that match was when he tried to hide in the cage and the other side opened up. God. And they just beat the hell out of him.
When they were fighting in the phone booth?
Bro, yeah. They were literally 3 people in the cage just stomping him out like they're Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci. Like they're just straight stomping. It was unbelievable. It was so fantastic. My pick to win was, I think I said Gargano, and my reason for that pick was I was really impressed with his Rumble appearance and what I've seen from him lately, and I kind of felt like they were really pushing him. So I fully expected him to show out for this match, and he did a fantastic job. But I can't take it away from Montez Ford. Montez Ford was the showstopper. He blew
tried to do people's elbow.
He was doing everything. DX, like he was all over the place, and I was loving every second of it. He did the most craziest shit I've seen in an Elimination Chamber in a long, long time. And I really have no complaints with everyone. Like you guys said, Bronson was a beast. He was a beast. And they really made it feel like he was this force because they needed like a few people to actually take him down. So they built him up really well. And then I thought Damian Priest was awesome in this match. He was killing it. But again, you can't. Ford has so much star power, and he's really coming into his own, being hopefully on a long-term solo run that I can really see him going far and actually making title runs at the highest level because I feel like
I can too.
He deserves it for real. And none of you brushed up on the Logan Paul thing, but
So I was just about to say this. Like the craziest part about this match, exactly. Like it was so predictable, and we all knew it was going to happen. But the rest of this match was so good. It's like it's like no one even cares that Logan Paul showed up.
Right.
I mean, listen, bro.
You know,
we knew they were going to fit in the Logan Paul thing because Rollins and Paul have to have their Mania moment.
Yep.
They've
been promoting each other.
Of course.
We knew that Austin Theory was going to walk out of there because they had to validate him as the champion to get to Mania as Cena 2.0. What we didn't know was we were going to be confused as fuck because everyone was going to give us such a dominating performance that they were going to sell us on them actually winning. So it was like, as we're going through, we're like, oh my God, someone's really going to leave here as champion. And
there was a legitimate case for every person in that ring to
100%
that match.
100%.
It would have blown people away. And this is what creative has to start to do more of. They need to be okay with dropping a holy fuck factor into what they do, but the not obvious one. The obvious holy fuck is Logan Paul, right? Oh, the gay Logan Paul, holy fuck. Oh my God, he's here. You screwed over Seth Rollins. And Scythe actually said, wouldn't it be crazy if Logan Paul came and screwed over Seth and he reached into the chamber and he held his leg so he couldn't go in, he couldn't get into the match. We could go back and you could listen to him saying it. The fact is we knew it was going to happen. We didn't know when. We were all like, oh, man. But it would be a holy fuck if at the end of it, a Montez Ford wins.
Yeah, 100%.
That is the creme de la creme of matches.
That building would have exploded. If Montez Ford won.
If he became the US champion, as he likes to call it. You know, I think
blew its lid.
But that goes to show like how good this match was. It had the most predictable ending out of any other match. Like we all predicted it. Austin Theory is going to win. You know, Logan Paul's going to show up, screw Rollins over, blah, 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 blah. We either thought it was going to happen early or late. Like Logan was either going to come in right at the beginning and screw Rollins there, or he was going to come in right at the end and screw Rollins there when he was one-on-one with whoever. We all predicted this match. However, this was still our favorite match of the night.
100%.
Because
you know what it comes down to?
That good.
Yeah, you know what it comes down to is you can have a storyline be predictable to the T, like where we can really map out where this is going and we're right all the whole time. But it still takes the talent to execute, even though it's a predictable storyline. And all 6 of these wrestlers executed masterfully. Like it was just it was such a boost, I feel like, to the locker room, because you had to. I can't imagine anyone in that locker room watching the match unfold and being like, "Holy shit, this is fucking amazing!" Like they must have all have been into it. I can't imagine they weren't.
I like to also throw in things that people low key never think of. If it wasn't for the Montreal crowd, it wouldn't have been the same.
The crowd definitely had something to do with it.
So on fire.
Yeah.
They were so invested. They were the holy shit. The everything.
The crowd was electric.
Everything was. They sold it so well.
I don't think they left SmackDown because they've been yelling since SmackDown.
No, that's it.
They were insane.
It's so. I mean, listen, Scythe, you essentially told us that the promo we got from Sammy sucked because it was only the crowd. So the crowd is so good that
not say
that promo can suck.
You kind of said that.
So here's the bro. First of all, you never drop crumbs around the captain, bro. Never. Okay, because you never fucking living that down. Okay, and that's one.
It's
You
not
never
what I
disrespect Condom. That's two.
That
Okay?
I'll do that every week. I'll do that
Okay.
every week.
But the Montreal crowd, I don't know. I truly don't know if like snorting coke is okay in the building because the energy was incredible. I got to give a shout out to Montreal. Listen,
Yeah. So I
think it's
Shout out.
18 to buy alcohol over there, so that might help.
dude,
I don't know if either one of you guys watched the press conference afterwards, but
No.
everybody was talking about the crowd.
I didn't watch it.
Sammy, Triple H. Watch it. I mean, it's quick. It's like a half hour, something like that.
Dude, I can't picture it being anywhere else.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Can you name off the top of your head another place where you felt that crowd? The one memory.
I have one. Yeah.
Izod Center.
So
No, the Barclays.
When WrestleMania was at MetLife,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had the Monday after. I remember
At the Barclays.
crowd, it was okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
It was
Are you
nuts.
sure?
Yeah.
Because the Izod Center one after WrestleMania was probably the nuttiest crowd I've been a part of and seen.
But let me ask you a question.
That was the Dolph Ziggler one.
But let me ask you a question.
The Barclays was the one that they were literally chanting the announcers' names at one point.
Yes,
That they did that at the Izod Center too.
The Barclays did. The Barclays did it first.
Let me ask you both
the
a
year
question.
before.
When's the last time either of you has seen it in a pay-per-view, not WrestleMania?
WrestleMania, the crowd never gets like that because the arena's too big, the stadium's too big. You never hear the crowd.
No,
that's the problem with Mania.
But even like the next day, this is the first time I've seen in a long time.
The only time I've ever seen it like that and it hasn't been the last time the crowd was that crazy, which Edge's return at Royal Rumble.
There was a big pop.
That was a huge pop.
I mean, even I was excited.
Huge pop. But other than that, like, Mania is a tough one because you never hear the crowd because it's always in like an open field, open roof stadium, like, arena, whatever you want to call it. And the crowd gets kind of like drowned out.
So can we collectively say A++?
A++++.
A++++. Yeah.
And Brad, you're right. The fuck you Roman chants, but we're getting to that now.
We're getting to that right now.
The last match.
Main event of the night, baby. The Bloodline versus Sami Zayn, Tribal Chief versus the Ultimate Underdog. And what a match this was.
It was a great match.
In all honesty, bro, the amount of storytelling and heart that went into this match, it didn't matter that it wasn't like the chamber match where we got all these crazy pops and spots and crazy things that happened. Mm-hmm. It was Sammy and Roman staring at each other and not touching each other for the first 5 minutes after this bell rang, and the crowd just building and swelling and building.
The tension.
The tension just building and swelling. Like they did such a good job of selling that, like, we're about to do this,
Yeah. First of all, it doesn't matter what you guys say. Roman's the GOAT. You need a heel that over as a heel to be able to command a crowd's emotions from one extreme to another. Sami Zayn had them going nuts for him, and Roman Reigns on the complete end of the spectrum had them going nuts for him.
Yeah.
And it was
facts.
To when he came out and that initial pop and that boo, my wife walked in and goes, they're all booing Roman? Like, that's how it was. She's like, is that all boos? Like, she heard it from another room. And it was, and I had my headsets on. And she was like, oh my God. And I was like, yeah, they're all booing Roman, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you got 5.5 minutes of standing ovation for Sammy before they even touched each other. You got in between punches and clotheslines and hits, 30 to 45 seconds of chance. You got every time Sammy did something, crowd erupted. Roman Reigns egging on the fans. Is that all? You got a few Sammy chants? That's all you got? Like it was, talking to his wife the whole time.
Yeah.
I wanted better for you. I wanted to support you. It was like, I wanted to provide for you. It was one of those things where you were just like, man, dude, someone is going to jump this barricade and fuck this guy up. Like it was that.
Yeah.
Like a couple of times he's got his face, he's got his hair, he's talking to his wife.
Like you started believing those signs that if Roman wins, we riot.
No.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh my God.
Man, he's really pushing this to the edge. But here's the thing. Someone can't do it unless it's organic. And the fact of the matter is, we all knew this. When Roman was a face, it was forced.
Terrible. Yeah.
When he became a heel, it was so much more him because he had that arrogant dickhead feel about him of like, we're propping you up as the man, right? And it was like, you're so not John Cena, bro. You just have to be you. It has to be very just low-key dickhead. And he has been that like semi-whiny, I do this for you guys, you don't respect me. It just so everything was perfect, bro. We knew he wasn't losing because it couldn't happen before Mania. We just were like, wow, dude, this is so.
The one part of this match I think they screwed up was the end, though.
Kevin Owens.
Yes.
Yep.
It's much stronger if he comes out before Sammy loses.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And takes out the Usos.
Yep.
Rather, because think about this. That place would have absolutely he got a huge pop as it was. No, he did. He got a huge pop, but it would have been 10 times bigger if the crowd, like you said that night, if the crowd wasn't deflated from the loss of Sammy first. If when the Usos came out, Jay came out, Jay walked away.
A little too late.
It was too late at that point. If Kevin had come out right when the Usos came out, started stunning everybody, going straight fight Owens fight, and then Sammy still loses, the crowd would have been ballistic when Kevin came out.
They would have rioted. They would have rioted.
They really missed a
big time.
Big moment there. You had Kevin come out and Roman still wins.
Yeah.
First of all, it propels that storyline to even new heights because now they're balls deep in stopping Reigns and the Usos, right? And it should have been switched. It should have been Kevin come out, Jimmy comes out, Kevin comes out to respond.
Yep.
And they're blah, blah, blah. You see him on the outside, and then Jay comes out after.
And Jay can take out Kevin.
And Jay comes out and takes out Kevin, and then
you can still do the spot with Jay.
Yes. Yep. Roman Reigns looks at him, he's confused, you give him the chair, and he still doesn't hit Sammy. And it looks like he's gonna hit Reigns, and you're like, I know he hit Kevin, but is he with Sammy? And then it would have made the segment the next day mean more because Kevin would have been like, I'm not teaming up with you, right? I went out there just to fight the Usos, but I'm not teaming up with you, and it would still make sense. Yeah. Kevin got beat up. Jay didn't beat up. And then Kevin said, if you need help, call your buddy Jay. It would have all made sense.
Yeah, right. It still would have made sense. Yeah, 100%.
It still would have made more sense. And that's where they missed the mark. But listen.
Because you missed that pop. That pop, you were right. The crowd was deflated from the Sammy loss.
100%.
The Kevin pop suffered from it, and I still thought it was a good pop. We just know what it could have been.
It's funny because I watched it over, and not that I wanted to prove a point of what I meant because you clearly know what the fuck I mean, but I just wanted to show you, and I still want to watch it with you, bro. The crowd, the music hits, whatever, and the crowd is cheering because it's KO and it's his home country. Bro, there's a segment they show to the left side of the ramp, and there's one guy who jumps up with his arms. Everyone else is like this.
Yeah.
So and I'm like, this was my point. People are just going to cheer because it's him, but that's it. They're empty. The tank is on empty, dude.
Yeah.
And you didn't give it an opportunity to like really hit that climax. And it's crazy to say because I don't even know if there's even further more of a climax, truly. But because we hit a climax, dude. I mean,
absolutely.
All of us, even watching the match, we were like, oh my God, dude, like what the fuck? You saw Jimmy come out, he hits him, he kicks out again. We're like, oh my God. So you didn't know. But the spot with Jay was so weird to me when it happened. He did
it was
nothing.
A weird way
felt forced.
to
felt forced. You knew immediately once he didn't do anything, then he was gonna get speared by Sammy and that like you knew it. And you were like, ugh. So it didn't vibe with me. Overall, listen, guys, my voice is as strained as it can get. I'm gonna give the match an A plus, not plus. The Elimination Chamber goes A plus.
I'm gonna give it a solid A because I gave the Elimination Chamber an A plus. So
but I'm gonna tell you this: anything Roman Reigns and Marvel get 100. Okay, so it's there.
Overall 1 to 100. What'd you rate this whole pay-per-view?
1 to 100.
I'm gonna, dude, from the pay-per-views I've been seeing, I'm gonna give it a 90, man.
Yeah,
really. I was very underwhelmed by the women's elimination chamber, but after that, I just felt like it delivered, dude. Even like I said, the Lashley, Brock, Judgment Day, Elimination Chamber men's, Roman Reigns, Sammy. I gotta give it a 90, dude. It's the best pay-per-view I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with it. Very.
Yeah, me too. I'm up there with you. I'm giving it a 90.
I'm gonna triple down on that.
Nice.
It was one of the best Elimination Chamber events I've watched in a very long time.
Going back real quick, what that men's chamber match does for me now is it makes me excited for Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
If they could put those guys in imagine Montez Ford winning Money in the Bank.
He's gotta.
You know what I'm saying? Or whoever,
or
Gargano,
TLC,
Bronson Reed, any of them. Like any of them winning a Money in the Bank would be straight gold. So I love this pay-per-view, this event. Fellas, thank you for rolling with me.
Yeah, bro. Yep. Thanks, man.
You know,
Brad's got a 95.
Brad said 95, and listen, I can't even disagree with Brad on that. You know what I mean? Like, I could see this getting a 95. Going forward, I mean, we got some stuff on Raw that happened. I mean, Kevin turned down Sammy. Great promo from Heyman and Cody. Cody going into WrestleMania now to fight Roman Reigns for both straps, apparently. I was hoping that they were going to find a separate opponent, have Roman go both nights. Yeah, I mean, he still might. I just don't think it's going to be for a belt. I think it's going to wind up being him and Jay one night, or something along those lines. I think it's going to be him and Jay, and then him and Cody. But Mania is starting to shape up for us, ladies and gentlemen. For the Oversell podcast, the next few weeks, we are going on our own road to WrestleMania. And we're going to start bringing you moments from previous WrestleManias. We're going to go back old school. We're going to bring it back on. We brought that up earlier, Brad. Like no one wants to see Omos, bro. It's a big miss for me. But yeah, so we're going to be bringing it back old school. We're going to start at WrestleMania 1, kind of work our way through, give you guys some top 10 lists, some of our favorite moments. We're going to talk in depth about it. Leading up to 5 weeks from now, we are going to have WrestleMania 39, where we're going to be doing a 2-night watch party. You're going to be seeing a lot of our faces. So get used to it.
Get used to it.
Man. I'm pumped up for it, dude. It's a great idea. Pumped up.
Yeah. So that's going to be our own road to WrestleMania. That's it for us on the Oversell podcast. Make sure you guys like, follow, and subscribe. Everything on GGen. We got MVP this week, Fred.
Next week.
next week. MVPs next week. Next week, you see us on the Oversell podcast. Another episode of the Key List is going to be coming out in the first couple weeks of March. Theater Room on Tuesday. We got some big things coming your way. What trivia?
Yeah,
those episodes go up.
The episodes are going to go up. I got to put the episodes up starting on Monday.
Nice.
And then we got the final 4.
And then the final 4 of trivia, the trivia challenge is going out. So we're gonna have a lot of content coming your guys' way. Make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe, everything on GGen. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, every social media platform out there. Do we have a LinkedIn and an OnlyFans yet?
Coming soon.
I do, but it only shows my toes, so you're not gonna want that.
All right, guys. Love you guys all. We're out of here.
Later.